did say that they're gonna cut one truck down, and I told them that it was fine with us, they might be late, you know, and, you know, this is on two now. We have so little, I mean, it doesn't matter, and they're thinking of getting an additional truck, have as a backup. So I told them I'd let you know, I think it's fine. Iron needs. Yeah, it's been working out well. Yeah, there's no issues with that.
Well, it's a lot. I mean, you're 8 years behind, 2 years in a row.
Well, at least if they're having an issue in the house.
We're out of from next year.
Coming Thursday to fix the door. Oh, it's a Saturday, probably. Yeah.
You know, you can start, if he comes in, I just can record what time he came in, if you wanna get going. That's the protocol for if somebody's late.
Meeting to order. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Needham, Councilman Bills, Supervisor Bunyan, Councilman Brown,
Here.
and Councilman Galusha.
Here.
First thing we'll do is open the meeting up to privilege of the floor, if anybody wants to speak.
We have those couple of events going on, with the youth. The October 25th is going to be the trick or treat trail. We have a couple of people interested so far in decorating spaces for that, including the Warrensburg EMS, which will be nice. Trying to recruit some more people. I did have the tourism department reach out to me and ask for more information on that, so we're gonna get it out to them and they're gonna advertise it as well. And then for the townwide garage sale, anybody that wants to set up at the rec field is more than welcome to. And those spaces are free, and there's gonna be advertising going out on that as well. And there's 2 more markets that we scheduled in September, for September 7th and September 21st, 11 to 2 for the community markets.
Anyone else? Then we'll move on to resolutions. The first resolution is to approve abstract aid claims for 2025. We have page 4. And a second. Charlie.
Hey, would you guys mind if I go get my ear things? I always forget them.
Thank you.
Does it what?
Doug just drove in.
Oh, okay, well, I'll record what time he comes in.
It keeps you busy though. Yeah, it keeps you busy.
I said I can hear better with these and and he goes, Doug just drove in, I go, huh?
Hi, Doug. We're on the first resolution, to pay the claims. Okay, so the total abstract aid for the general fund for August 28th is $34,043.47. And the total abstract aid for the highway fund, August 28th, is $357,361.79. And about 326,000 of that is chips, so we'll be getting reimbursement, which we probably won't get till November now,
Yeah.
the way the cutoff goes.
Yep.
Okay. So the total claims is $391,405.26. Is there any question on any of the abstract
I have
claims?
a question for Pat, actually. I was looking at the Paletti abstract for the paving. They've got charges on the end of that. They've got all the blacktop, but then they've got freight and then other charges. Why are we getting charged freight and other charges?
Paving crew and also they send some of their trucks was free. They use some of their flowboy trucks to haul, because we were hauling from Saratoga.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Anyone else before we vote? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Second resolution is to purchase a 6x12 or comparable size trailer. We did talk about this at the last meeting. Someone bring that to the floor? Okay, and a second?
Who said the motion?
Ed and Doug.
Ed, okay.
Okay. Whereas the food for our cleaning and food pantry is currently picked up with the highway department's vehicle, and whereas this vehicle is not enclosed and is open to the elements storing rain and snow, allowing the boxes of produce to get wet, and whereas the truck currently used will have a sander box on the back of it during the winter months, and it will be time consuming to remove the sander box and clean the truck bed sufficiently to transport food, be it resolved, the town board authorizes the purchase of a 6x12 or comparable size trailer in an amount not to exceed $6,000. This funding will come from contingent code A 1990.4. And in your packet are the quotes. The very first quote is the one that they recommended we go with. I think Bob Morehouse told me that this one's better built. It comes to $5,044. The one behind that is $4,820 plus the tax and the DMV fee, so it's only like slightly lower than the first one. The next one is $5,085 plus tax and DMV fees. And the other one gave me, it looks like a duplicate, but it's $5,085 plus tax and DMV fees. Those other ones are not in stock, they're saying coming in, but not in stock at the moment. The first one is in stock and is available.
Why would we be paying tax on something? I thought we would tax it down.
I think he means the DMV fees, not sales tax. I think that licensing
Okay.
or permits.
Because the first one doesn't show any tax, it says zero.
Where it says document fee over here, $45, and it looks like something's cut off here, I don't know what. But no, it would be $45 on this one. We wouldn't be paying tax.
Right.
Sales tax would be. So even though I said not to exceed 6,000, it looks like the total price would be $5,044. Right?
tell me the code on that? You said A something.
The quote on,
The code that it's gonna be.
oh, the code, 1990.4 is the contingent code. We haven't used it all year, and right now there's $10,000 in it.
And the county will grant money for food pantry trailer?
I don't think so. If you want, I can find out, but I don't think they do that.
We have a vehicle we're gonna be pulling this with.
It's gonna be, one of the highway trucks, one of the 350s or, pickup trucks.
Okay.
Probably pickup truck, right? What do they use to go get the food?
They'll
Now,
usually take it one time,
one,
yeah, and in the winter, the sanders are out and down about one time,
mhm.
so it'll be one of the pickups.
There'll be a pickup that will be towing us.
Yeah.
So if you want, I can change the amount to 5,044, or if you wanna go with a different one. Just let me know what you want.
If that's a hard number, why don't we put that in?
Okay. $5,044.
For what?
We're changing the 6,000 to $5,044. That's what the quote is that we're accepting.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the quote through Runners Unlimited in Hudson Falls. Is there any more discussion on the trailer? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The next resolution is to purchase a maximum 115 horsepower tractor with mower and boom. Someone want to bring that to the floor?
I will.
Doug? And a second? Charlie? Whereas the tractor the highway currently uses is over 26 years old and beyond its useful life, and whereas the town is able to purchase one on state contract for a purchase price of $242,505.36, which can be financed over several years, and whereas our finance company, NCL, is willing to allow the purchase to happen in 2025 with a payment that is not due until 2026, and whereas these payments can be afforded with little to no change in the current equipment budget line as referenced in the attached payment options, depending on which option we choose, be it resolved, the town board approves the purchase of a Maxim tractor with mower and boom attachments with payments to be spread over, and I left the years blank, resulting in an annual payment of, and I left that blank. And this will be coded to DA 5130.2, machinery equipment. So, they are giving us a discount of $53,553 on this, and in your packet is a little write-up I did here, letting you know about the different options for payment. In 2025, the budgeted amount was $233,732. Part of that expenditure is an annual payment of $158,732 for the 2 trucks that we purchased in '24. That's on a 5-year payment plan, which we began in 2025 and ends in 2029. The other expenditure toward that code was a Ford F-350 in the amount of $74,964, which was paid in full at the time of purchase. If we choose to finance this tractor and wish to stay budget neutral, the best option would be to finance over 4 years at a cost of $70,722.51 per year. If we want to lower our interest by $5,390, we can choose a 3-year plan. The annual cost would be $92,499, raising the budgeted amount by $17,500 to a total of $251,232. Of course, after the first year, there are early payoff options available on both the truck payment and the tractor payment, and attached is a copy of the current payment plan for our original 2 trucks, as well as the leasing options for the tractor. And I did ask him for the interest rates. So if we were to go 3 years, the rate would be 6.99. If we go 4 years, 6.45. If we go 5 years, 6.21, if we go 7 years, 5.97, but with that longer period of time, we'd be paying more in interest, even though the rate's lower. So the real question becomes, do you wanna stay budget neutral, or do you wanna pay a little more and pay less in interest? Knowing that if we stay budget neutral, we can always pay more after the first year.
Well, if we do the 3-year plan, the total payment's gonna come to $277,499 and change, which means we're paying about $35,000 in interest. If we do the other plans. The 4-year plan's gonna cost us $40,000 in interest. Do we have fund balance available that we could pay the whole thing?
No, I don't think so.
Could you repeat those interest rates again?
Yeah. 3 years is 6.99, 4 years is 6.45, 5 years is 6.21, and 7 years is 5.97.
You did the 7-year one, you're gonna spend $61,354 in interest.
Yeah. That's why I really just did write it for 3 or 4, because 4 keeps us budget neutral, and 3 saves us 5,000 in interest, but raises our payment 17,500 per year. I mean, we could do one that keeps us budget neutral, and if we wanna pay more, we can at any time after the first year.
Are you gonna do anything with the old tractor pad or put it out there?
They can put it out on the county
Put it out?
auction or public bid or whatever.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So if we buy this, basically, our whole machinery budget is committed to 2 trucks and a tractor. So if we need anything new, we're gonna have to increase our machinery budget.
Yeah,
Okay.
but that's what we did last year. We had 1 truck and the other 2 trucks. We had the 350 and we had the 2 truck payment.
I understand that's what it's there for, so. The tractors on state contract, are all the other parts and everything else on state contract also?
Yeah, everything's on contract. It's just 2 different companies, Salem Farm supplies the tractor, then SEI company has a contract to supply the equipment.
Okay.
The prices, I was looking back at when we got the John Deere, the same tractor, when we bought that was 60,000 complete, and now it's 200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You know, if we do 4 years and it's 70,000 a year, and we had about 75, that's 5,000 each year that we would have add up to something else. Do you foresee anything? I mean, you have 4 new trucks pretty recently. Is there any other equipment, big equipment that you think you might be
Looks
needing in the
really
next?
old. You know, we've got a couple of the trucks, but they're not nothing like we've got rid of, you know, they're still being used. Then you get the 1-tons and the pickup, I mean, they're fairly new.
Yeah, I know. So if we were to go with the 4 years and that was your full equipment budget, you'd be okay with that?
Yeah, I don't see anything else
I'm thinking, what else would you
that we
want?
need.
Mhm,
I mean,
right.
I mean, obviously you don't wanna buy a tractor, but it's just shot, you know, you can't keep it running, DEC stopped here a couple times, because of the hydraulic leaks down the blacktop.
Oh.
You
Right.
can't use any New York class money for something like that?
it's not fund balance. That money sitting in there is ARPA money, tax money, other money that's allocated to other things.
What percent interest rate are we getting on that?
I didn't look at this month, but it's I think it was 5.2.
And to buy the tractor, we're gonna pay 6%, roughly?
That's, our operating money is sitting in there. It's not extra money. Like for instance, I had to go 100,000 over to highway, cause I only keep a little less than like about 200,000 in the checking. All the other money for our expenses is sitting in New York class. So right now, if I didn't move money over after paying these bills, all the CHIPS bills, which we won't get reimbursed till November, that would have left us about $14,000 in the highway checking account. So I had to move money over and wait for CHIPS, and the same for next year. When he wants to pave next year, that 320-something thousand has to be there to use to get back. So that's in your class. So when it comes back in November, it'll sit in there until he needs to pave again. So it's not, even though it looks like there's a lot in there, it's not expendable. It's allocated or needs to be used for the beginning of next year. I mean, we could always pay it early. We could pay the other two early. If at the end of the year we see what we have and we think about doing that, we can. At any time after the first year. And so the two trucks are already into their second year. And with this, he said I could pick a date, what month did I want to make the payment, and I was gonna pick June. That gives us time to get all our property taxes in, because the $158,000 is due in February. And we're just starting to get our property tax
For
money
the
in.
new trucks?
For the other two trucks that we're still paying on, yeah.
Looking at the trial balance for the highway fund, it shows zero balance for encumbrances, but it shows an unreserved fund balance of $607,248. That's in your trial balance.
Well, look at the balance sheet. Do you have the balance sheet? Because trial balance isn't really that's just telling you whether your debits and credits match. Doesn't really mean that's what's sitting there.
You're gonna have to point to where you're talking about.
I don't have that with me. You have a
The
balance
balance
sheet?
sheet,
Yeah.
yep. Doesn't say anything about fund balance. It says unexpended fund balance, but this is over $1 million.
That's right now. That's including New York class.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
but without New York class or anything else, the trial balance shows a fund balance of over $600,000.
And then you'd have to deduct the rest of the year from there, and the beginning of the year money too.
Why would we deduct the rest of the year? Isn't that in the budget?
That is money out of the budget. That is the budget.
Fund balance isn't in the budget. Fund balance is what's left over after you pay all your bills at the end of every year.
At the end of the year, but right now, what's sitting in our fund balance is all of our money. It counts all the money. It's not anticipating the end of the year there. So all the bills that we still have to pay come out of that.
When you calculate fund balance, it's the money you have minus all the expected expenditures for the rest of the year, and it's showing what you'll have at the end of the year after you've paid all your bills. That's the money left over.
That's not what we're gonna have left over.
If we pay all our bills and stay in budget, that's what we'll have left over. That's what fund balance is.
At the end of the year, you can calculate your fund balance, but right now
You
you
can
don't.
calculate fund balance at any point during the year.
But it won't be accurate.
It's a projection based on what you anticipate for the rest of the year, based on what we've budgeted and what we've expended so far. So the balance of what we anticipate in revenues, if we get those revenues, and what we anticipate in expenses, if we meet our expenses and don't exceed them, then our fund balance, you can calculate it right now.
And if that is true, then project what you will need in the beginning of the year, because you're not gonna have any money coming in. So how much of that money are you gonna need when you start your year?
I don't know,
How many
$600,000,
$100,000?
we aren't gonna need $600,000 on January first.
Is that just highway that you're looking at?
Yeah, that was just highway.
Mm.
On our general fund. The unassigned fund balance on general fund, $773,000. Now, I know, to be fair, this is saying unassigned, but we know that some of it as, I don't know why it's classified as unassigned, I don't understand the bookkeeping of it, don't pretend to. But I know that there's some of it that is committed, for example, some of that fund balance is occupancy tax money. You can't use it for something else, I get that.
Yeah.
But that's only a small part of, you know, we're looking at over $1.3 million in fund balance.
And
The only reason I'm bringing it up is if we can pay, if we can pay for it and not incur those interest expenses, that you're talking $35,000 over 3 years or $40,000 over 4 years. If we were making more money on our investment than what we would be incurring in an interest expense to buy a piece of equipment, then I would say fine, but the interest to buy something is more than what we're making in New York class. So we're better off paying for it and save that interest.
as long as it doesn't hurt us in the end.
All I'm going by is the fund balance that you've got calculated on the sheets here. I mean, we're still a board and it's still a democracy, so I'm just one vote.
Well, I don't know, let's see, how can I help resolve this?
I mean, unless a bunch of that fund balance is actually either encumbered or reserved for something else. If it's unencumbered or unreserved, that means we can use it for whatever we need to. I understand some of it is actually encumbered, but I just don't know, it's not apparent from these sheets how much is encumbered and how much is available for us to use for whatever we need to.
Well, how about if I can create that for you? I can create a sheet or an Excel spreadsheet that would break all of that out, and that would probably.
Well, I mean, don't we need to vote on this tonight?
I know, but we don't have to, we can vote on this and we can still pay off the other 2 trucks with the same money.
I mean, the one thing that you do have here is you've got, and this doesn't mean it's encumbered, it just means it's in an investment. You've got in New York class, you've got $770,000 in the highway fund.
That's their operating money too.
That's operating money, and
It's everything.
we've got a garage fund of $152,000, which obviously we earmarked for the garage.
Right.
I'm not suggesting you spend that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking at what we have for fund balance, that's all. And whether, it's a question of whether we wanna save the interest that we would spend, because $35,000-$40,000 is a lot of money to waste in interest.
That's over the 4 years, but we don't need to carry it that far if we don't want to. I mean, those rates are lower than what we're paying on the 2 trucks, so we would be better off if we're gonna make a substantial payment is paying it on the other 2 trucks. That's 6.6. So how about if I do that? We can, if we prove this now and then we look at, I'll write up something showing exactly how much money's available and what we'll need for next year. I'll calculate out I'm gonna have to for the budget anyway, so
Okay.
I'll calculate it out with the next, say 3-4 first months of the year and how much money we'll be getting. And then we'll know, and if we choose to, we can apply it to the trucks we're already paying on.
Okay.
Because they're telling us, I mean, we could definitely do that now. We could pay the other 2 trucks down
talk about doing that.
And I'll be sitting with all the department heads to get their numbers for the budget and see what they're gonna need. And, I'll create that sheet, put all the numbers in. Does that work for people?
So we need to put the numbers in the resolution.
Yeah.
We go for 4 years then?
Well, 4 years will keep us budget neutral. 4 years is good. So that would be 70,722.51 per year. And that will
Repeat
start
that?
70,722.51.
Okay.
And that will start in June of 2026.
June 26.
Any more discussion on the tractor? Alright, all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, next resolution is to amend the union contract, changing the enrollment date of health insurance. Someone bring that to the floor?
I will.
Mindy, in a second.
I will.
Okay. Whereas the town of Thurman has been unsuccessful in its search for qualified MEOs with CDL license and with the retirement with one of the CDL drivers next week, there will only be 4 MEOs that have a valid CDL license as we go into winter. And whereas the highway department does have 1 MEO applicant who has a CDL, however, he has a family and cannot go 90 days without health insurance. The cost of COBRA would be excessive for him to maintain while he waits 90 days. And whereas if the union contract was amended to state that health insurance would start the first of the month following the date of hire, he would agree to be employed by the town of Thurman, thus saving us the additional cost of overtime to compensate for the lack of drivers. And whereas the union rep is in full agreement with this amendment, should we choose to approve this resolution, be it resolved, the town board agrees that the union contract, section 46C, shall have the word probationary removed to read seasonal employees shall not be eligible to participate in the plan, and section 46F shall have an additional sentence labeled D, which will read probationary employees are not eligible for the health insurance buyout. Because the purpose of this is just to help get MOs. I have a copy of the page out of our union contract in there, and memorandum of agreement from Alex Patello, the labor relations specialist at the union. Okay, so, and you have somebody, right, who this would apply to right now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the guy who wants to transfer from the county.
Mm-hmm. So he would be, when is he coming in, when can he come in?
We'll be back here with 2 weeks' notice.
2 weeks' notice? Okay. Is there any discussion on this?
Yeah, I got questions.
Okay.
About voting on this, being in the union and being a worker. I think I should include, so you still gonna have a quorum.
Okay.
You know, I don't know what we should do, you know, I gotta think that we should,
Okay.
well, I don't know any other way.
I don't
Any
know,
other
it doesn't,
thoughts, you
doesn't
know,
affect either of you, but, if you feel that way, that's fine.
Well, yeah,
If you prefer to do that, how do you feel about it? You're in the union too?
you still have a quorum, you know,
Okay,
and I think we should,
that's fine.
okay.
Is there any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So we have 3 ayes and 2 recuses?
Deb, Doug, and myself said aye, the other 2 recused.
Yeah.
Just, correct.
Office of Real Property Tax Services today. And I do have a different resolution that she just got back to me about to appoint her as the position of acting assessor. And she would work for 6 months and then we would send the RP 3006 in. That's how they told me.
Can
When
I
you
get
say
a
you got,
copy?
who did you get this determination from?
From the Office of Real Property Tax Services
Warren
at the
County?
state, no, state. New York State.
Can I see the, email that they sent you?
It was a phone call, but you can have her number. I spoke to this woman's supervisor. She said she felt that, I'll bring the resolution to the floor. Alright, anyone want to bring this resolution to the floor?
I will.
Second, Charlie? Whereas the supervisor of the town of Thurman had a phone conversation with the Office of Real Property Tax Service after emailing Shay Barnaby's resume to them. And whereas although Shay may not have the required experience, it was suggested that the town of Thurman could appoint Shay as the acting assessor with the term beginning October 1st, 2025, and after 6 months, the town board would then submit Form RP 3006 with a cover letter requesting a review of her qualifications. The proper way to proceed will be to send a copy of this resolution to the Office of Real Property Tax Services after the appointment is approved by majority vote. Therefore, be it resolved, the town board hereby appoints Shay Barnaby as the acting assessor for a term to begin October 1, 2025. Any discussion?
Yeah, I have a couple of things I wanna say.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I wanna make sure it's clear, this is no reflection on Shay or her credentials. She obviously has a tremendous amount of education with her master's degrees. She also has very good communication and very good people skills. I'm very impressed with her as an individual. However, she has zero experience in the area that she needs to have to hold this position. And I think that we have another candidate who is eminently qualified, who has been recommended to us by the Warren County Director of Real Property Services. The person has a tremendous amount of experience, has trained assessors statewide, has done revaluations in the hundreds. We are making a serious mistake going down this road and putting this young woman in this position, especially facing the reval that we anticipate doing. And I think we're making a mistake for our town, and I just oppose this resolution.
That's fine.
I think it's wrong. I think it's the wrong thing for our town. I think we have a chance to hire an expert in this field, somebody that can hit the ground running, can do the job inside and out, knows it frontwards and backwards. And we're gonna put somebody in here that has no knowledge or experience in this position. I think that's a serious mistake for our town.
I gotta disagree with you. He
I
only
figured you
wants to
would.
work 1 day. We need a sole assessor. We don't need a clerk sitting in there like we've had for years. We want just a assessor, $40+ a week. He only wants 1 day. Even the other applicant want 1 day, Randy. We don't want that, and it's not gonna happen. We need it. I'm telling you,
What
that's how I feel about that. We do not need a clerk in there. To me, I'll tell you right now, that position is actually illegal as far as I'm concerned. There's never been a resolution to put a person in there.
I'm not gonna debate that.
I know, you
But-
don't have to, I just want you to know how I feel. We don't need a clerk in there.
It was recommended to us by Warren County's Real Property
Yeah.
Tax Services Director
Yeah.
that this person can do this job. They can do it remotely. They only said that they would be present in the office 1 day a week. They did not say they would only be working 1 day a week. They will do the job, they'll get it done, everything will be done. It'll be much much better for this town.
I'm not saying they wouldn't, but he's not gonna be here every day.
He doesn't need to be.
Well, he should be, that's
Pre-
what we
presently-
want, that's what we, this is
what-
what the board wants.
How much is our office open right now?
They could be
4
open
days
as
a week.
much as they want.
What?
4 days a week,
Half days.
yeah, 9 to 12.
Okay.
Mhm.
So you could put a clerk, most of what they do when they're open is giving people forms for exemptions, helping them fill out their exemptions,
Yeah.
answering questions.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Your assessor doesn't
Then-
have to be
then
present 5
explain
days
to
a
me,
week.
how come our equalization rate is so damn low?
Look, I'm not gonna get into a
You gotta
debate,
answer that for me if you
No,
want.
I don't have to
Well,
answer
you
it.
don't, but
because,
I'm telling you,
look,
that's not right, we need to try something different, that's all I have to say.
Well, I just wanna mention, I did send her resume over to New York State, and they did feel that her mechanical engineering master's degree would be sufficient for the math part of it, the calculating of the market analysis, cost analysis and all that. They're the ones who suggested this, I didn't even know that this was a possibility. So it was that person whose number I gave, the supervisor, that suggested this, and she will start her training October 6th.
who's gonna train her?
The county, and there's classes, she has to go start
The
her
county
classes.
is not going to train her. I talked to Lexi today. Lexi's retiring the end of September. She's not gonna be here. She will not commit to the county training her.
They have
She don't
training
need
already
anything.
scheduled, Sue Baker gave me the paperwork on the training, it starts October 6th through the 9th.
The The training does not supplant experience. Look, the regulations clearly state that in no case are you supposed to appoint somebody that does not have the minimum required experience. 6 months is the minimum. It says it in the regulations.
That's what
Even your county director, she knows the individual that we're talking about that's an expert. She recommended, she's flabbergasted that we're not appointing him and that we're gonna appoint somebody without experience. This is ludicrous. It's absolutely,
That's your opinion.
it is, it's
You're
asinine.
allowed to, you have your opinion, and I respect
Well,
it, okay,
Okay,
that's fine.
I think it's one of the dumbest things we could do in the town of Thurman.
No, I don't think it is dumb, but we're not, how can you say that when things are way as low as they are in our town, Randy?
That doesn't have anything to do with what
It
we're
does,
doing in
it
the
does,
future.
because they're not doing their job.
What does that have to do with who we're appointing, Ed?
It's gotta be better than what we got. I'm sorry, but I'll tell you right now,
Okay,
my
that's
mind-
ridiculous.
Excuse me, all right, I'm done.
okay, so we'll just vote. We'll do a roll call vote. Go ahead, Cynthia.
Councilman Needham,
Yes.
Councilman Bills,
Yeah.
Supervisor Runyon,
Yes?
Councilman Brown,
Yes.
Councilman Galusha,
No.
Well, here's the thing with this too, even though we did already vote. In 6 months, during that 6 months, she'll be reviewed. And in 6 months, that form goes in, and if they still feel she's insufficient, they won't approve her. That's how it's gonna work. So she still has to prove her minimum qualifications in 6 months. The next resolution is to allocate $8,000 in occupancy tax money to a town-run event called the Thurman Fall Festival and Yard Sale.
I don't.
wait a minute, what was that?
Doug and Charlie,
That's the new one? Oh, wait a second, where is that? Oh, okay, I got it.
yeah, you have it.
So, wait a minute, I'm a little confused. So what happened, are we just not doing this resolution allowing supervisor to submit Form RP?
Yes, that's the poll,
So I just ripped that up so I don't get confused?
right? The only thing is the poll.
All right, so now we're on, okay, now I know where we are.
Okay?
We're on the occupancy tax one?
Yep.
Okay.
Whereas the Thurman Community Association has canceled the Fall Farm Tour this year and has returned the original sum of $8,000 in occupancy tax that they had received, and whereas there are individuals who would participate in an event on October 11th and 12th. Whereas this would be a town-run event open to all who wish to participate, whether they are a farmer or not, as well as the opportunity to have a townwide yard sale in conjunction with this event. Be it resolved, the town board hereby allows a sum up to $8,000 in occupancy tax for the Thurman Fall Festival to cover any expenditures allowable under the occupancy tax guidelines. And we do have quite a bit of people that are interested in doing this. What we're gonna do is put an ad, like a save the date. I have a good copy of one. This is what Stony Creek did, a save the date. And it had their townwide sale at the same time as their big event. And, so I'm gonna put a little ad like that in and then see how many people wanna participate. And when we get closer, a larger ad.
Did we get a motion in a second on that?
Doug
Doug
and
and
Charlie.
Charlie.
So who, Doug made the motion?
Charlie seconded.
Because they don't talk loud, and I can't hear what they say. Okay, thanks.
So any discussion on this? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. I recuse myself.
Couple of things that I did want to bring up before I open it up to the floor again, if anyone wants to speak. I talked to National Seating and Mobility. They're coming to fix the door on the 4th. And I was thinking about a gate and steps at the end when you walk out. But the quote for that is $5,760. And I think that it might be cheaper for us, maybe put steps going down off of it with concrete or something, and not pay this over there. It's quite a bit of money just to put a gate, and they couldn't use our existing piece for a gate either. I thought, well, maybe they could just take that one off and make it a gate. They can't. The other thing I have here is our sales tax revenue came in August, $137,126. It's lower than last year, but higher than all the previous years. We now need $160,908 to make the budget amount. Last year we got 183, so we should be fine. The last time it was less than what we needed was 2020, so I think we'll hit the budget amount in our sales tax. And that's all I have. So anybody else want to speak that we look for? Okay, then you're up.
Motion to adjourn.
That was Doug,
Mm-hmm.
and who did the second? You, I didn't catch the second.
Deb,
You did, oh,
all in
okay.
favor?
Aye.
All right, 5:16.